Hello, friends. I'm Fuzzy Viper Shark, and oh boy, I am diving into nightmares with this one. This game terrified me as a child for many reasons. One, I had no idea what I was doing, more so than now. And two, everything else about this game. The sound design, the environment, gameplay, graphics, concept, controls, everything. The name of this nightmare fuel is IQ, Intelligent Cube. I thought this was a fever dream as a kid. I don't remember seeing a disc for it anywhere. I don't ever remember getting past the first level. I didn't even know there were levels to this. All I remember is fear. Only being released on the PlayStation in 1997, G artists, today known as Epics, developed the game to be rated K through A so they could maximize their reign of terror. It actually received mostly positive reviews, with most criticisms being that while there is a multiplayer mode, it is not simultaneous, and graphical glitches and slowdowns are rampant, despite not being very demanding visually. This is still apparent on the PS5. Another initial reaction from critics was that the game looked quite underwhelming in its gameplay. This is quickly diminished upon playing the game themselves, and I can somewhat attest to this because when I first fired it up, I didn't think I would get much content out of this game. However, after getting the hang of it, I played for hours. Besides making me mortified of squares and their 3D counterparts as a child, the idea of iCube was to simply capture the cubes that were rolling towards you. That's it. The player runs around the platform collecting the cubes. Luckily, you are not able to fall off on your own. The cubes will try their darndest to crush you, and if they do, they continue on their merry way to the edge of the platform to fall off. Which is no bueno, because you need to capture the cubes. Are you understanding? You must capture all of the cubes, except the forbidden cubes. In order to capture the cubes, the player must activate a spot on the platform and then deactivate the spot when the desired cube is about to land on it. I mentioned one of three different types of cubes. The forbidden cubes are the cubes you must avoid and let fall off the platform. When these are captured, a row of the stage is lost. The game ends when the player falls off the stage by either standing on a falling row after a penalty, or by being avalanched off the stage when more cubes spawn in and the rows of cubes exceed that of the rows left on the stage. The other two types are normal cubes and advantage cubes. Normal cubes are self-explanatory. However, advantage cubes need to be captured as well, and they offer help. When they are captured, the spot they are captured in and the adjacent spots all become green. These can be activated at the player's desire, and they capture all of the cubes that lay on those spots. This comes in quite handy, yet it will also capture forbidden cubes, and is thus an easy way to mess up really fast. I think the better strategy when you become overwhelmed is to let the advantage in normal cubes fall rather than capture the forbidden cubes. There are bars on screen that turn red when the capturable cubes fall off, and you're allowed a certain number of those cubes to fall off before losing a row of the stage. On the other hand, you lose rows immediately for every forbidden cube captured. This game is deceptively simple, but throws level after level at you with 8 total stages. I have not gotten through all the stages, but I think it would make for a nice playthrough. Anyway, there are quite a few subtle pieces to this game that give it a nice touch. There's a rewind feature to allow you to quickly redo a part to correct a mistake or optimize the solution. There's also a little counter in the corner of the screen that notes how many moves the cubes make and the number of moves that it should take to solve. The less moves that are made to solve a puzzle, the more points you will get. Although I have no idea if the points even matter, because I got on the scoreboard and had far fewer points than those of which I had a higher IQ. Nice job, Dylan. Apparently, the IQ is on a scale of 0 to 999, with completing the game using no continues giving the player an IQ of at least 350. This has nothing to do with how an intelligence quotient is actually determined. Instead, it is a metric of the player's block clearing skills being a percentage of the score. Along with the scoreboard, IQ has some other features, like memory card slot selection. Remember consoles needing memory cards? Writing down which games was on which memory card and collecting all the different colors? Technology is crazy. Oh yeah, you can also change the texture of the cubes and not know what it looks like until you get into the game. You can also select your character. It's just Elliot, but it's nice to feel wanted, so pick Elliot. Actually, you are able to unlock more characters by completing all 8 levels, which I love in a video game. It adds to the replayability and challenge of the game. Another thing that is unlocked by beating the game is Original Mode, where players can create their own puzzles, though IQ and efficiency are not calculated in Original Mode. And, as mentioned before, there is a 2-player mode, of which I completely agree with the critics on this one, being that it is quite lame. The controller has to get passed back and forth, with the objective being that you have to clear the stage perfectly in order to collect an IQ logo. The first person to collect 5 logos and have 2 more than the other player is the winner. Now, I played this by myself, not knowing it was a pass and play, so I was surprised when I lost to myself. In my opinion, instead of the first to clear a stage, it should be the one that clears the stage with the most points, like in single player. There are no points in multiplayer, there are no bonuses for clearing efficiency, so yeah, it's kind of lame. I don't think this will be an esport anytime soon, but I've been wrong before. My only real criticism for this game is the movement of the character. The character moves by pressing the D-pad. Simple. However, the camera moves, and this continues to make me think about how I'm moving more so than where I need to move to, because the D-pad selection for movement is relative to the stage, not the camera. So if the camera is at a 45-degree angle to the stage, and you press right on the D-pad, your character will not move to the right, but instead will move right along that row of the stage. I'm not sure if this trickery was intentional, but it makes me think a little more about my movements. And especially in a game where I'm having to avoid and capture enormous blocks, this is dangerous. It just doesn't feel intuitive to me, but something that can easily be learned by a pro gamer. Probably my greatest praise for this game is how it induces a sense of urgency. This game creates it naturally through the progression of the levels and gameplay itself. You can only capture a cube as it is moving forward, and if you lose ground, there is no way to make it up, putting the player's ability to think quickly and critically to the test. And a lot like other puzzle games, levels increase in difficulty. This is done by increasing the number of blocks in a row and the number of blocks that come at once. But I don't think the blocks ever come at you faster. It's done solely by quantity, and I think this game does the puzzle genre very well. Takayuki Hattori was the composer for this game, and it is tremendous. It adds so much to the atmosphere of the game, and playing this game without the music is criminal. I tend to listen to YouTube videos or podcasts or whatever when I'm playing some video games, but this is not one that I do that with. It's intense, it really does wonders for setting the mood of the game, and it is enjoyable overall.
Fuzzy Viper Shark forgot to mention the haunting sounds that are made throughout the menus. So, here are those.
First stage.
Yet, in the end, this game leaves me with so many unanswered questions. What am I doing here? How did I get here? What are these blocks? Why are these blocks trying to kill me? Why do I have to get rid of all of these blocks? Is this an afterlife? Is this character dead? Why is the announcer so frightening? Why is that the sound that the selection makes? This game is up there with one of the scariest non-horror games ever. There's no cheap jump scares, no monsters, just you and your mortality against an unforgiving opponent that offers no rhyme or reason for what you're doing, and it's fantastic. Although to help me sleep at night, I like to think that this game was made as a prequel to Minecraft, in that this game was the game made to harvest all of the blocks for Minecraft. Before playing IQ for this video, I probably haven't played this game in like 20 years. This simple puzzle game does a wonderful job at challenging the player, and it still holds up to this day in my opinion. It's on the PS store for 10 bucks, which is totally worth it to me in my nostalgia, and if you're a fan of puzzle games, this should be one that you try. I really wish that they made a remastered version of this game so they could fix some of the issues and add more features. However, thinking about it now, the terror that could be added may be too great for me to handle. But if you don't scare easily, check it out. Especially if you made it through this video, I would recommend it to you. I can't thank you enough for watching. I'm Fuzzy Viper Shark. Peace.